Energy Minister Josh Frydenberg has just started a media conference in Melbourne.
Events. But the reef is remarkably resilient. In the 3 years leading up to the 2015-16 event of bleaching, there was an increase in the coral cover by more than 19%. That's quite significant, bearing in mind some of the challenges that the reef faces. Other questions?
Is Tony Abbott damaging the coalition?
Look, Tony Abbott is a member of our team and as a former Prime Minister has a special status in the Liberal Party's pantheon. But like Tony Abbott and all my other colleagues, I just want to see good government for Australia. And good government means continuing the good work that Malcolm Turnbull has already undertaken and has underway. Just think about it. What we've done on the economic front, delivering tax cuts for more than 3 million small businesses, employing more than 6 million Australians, reinstating the Australian Building Construction Commission and the Registered Organisations Bill to effectively have a cop on the beat, continuing Australia's record run of 26 years of uninterrupted economic growth, record investment in infrastructure, the result on education that was led by Simon Birmingham to get a proper, fair, transparent, needs-based funding model, the work of Greg Hunt on health policy, guaranteeing Medicare going forward, the work on national security, stopping the boats and keeping them stopped has been a significant achievement of the coalition government, as well as a $90 billion defence, naval, shipbuilding and other defence hardware program, and the record investment of over $1.5 billion in our law enforcement and intelligence agencies. And in my own portfolio of energy policy, we're doing an enormous amount to put downward pressure on electricity prices through gas export restrictions, abolishing the limited merits review, Snowy Hydro 2.0 and a host of other measures. This is what the Australian people are concerned about. How is the government delivering more and better services on education, health, infrastructure, national security for them? And this is what we're doing. So this is what we want to be talking about, not personalities and other issues that they may raise.
Minister, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull yesterday couldn't even mention Tony Abbott's name on the ABC. Is that because there is a fear within the coalition that he is causing real damage?
Our focus has to be on delivering for the Australian people. And that's what all my colleagues I know are focused on. And we've had a significant year of achievement since the last election. When we get questions about Tony Abbott, or indeed other members of our team, that distracts from the main game and it actually helps Bill Shorten. And he doesn't need any help because he was conducting the orchestra during the terrible, disastrous Gillard-Rudd years. And he doesn't deserve to be in the lodge, and we will do everything to stop that occurring. So if we talk about our achievements, if we get on with the job of governing, then that is going to be what pleases Australians most, rather than discussion about personalities.
How
is the Liberal Party inviting Cory Bernardi to speak, also helping Bill Shorten?
Look, Cory Bernardi was a member of our team, has now set up his own party. Decisions by branches are matters for them. But I can tell you from the party members that I speak to, they are focused on how we can deliver better government for the Australian people. The Liberal Party is the most successful party in Australian politics since it was founded by Sir Robert Menzies back in 1944. It has delivered better results in all aspects of economic and national security issues. That's what my party members in my local electorate, that's what Australian Liberal Party members across the country are interested in, continuing that proud record of good government.
It's just a question on clean coal.
So we'll have two more questions here.
Is it time for Tony Abbott to leave?
No, look, it's not. It's not time for Tony Abbott to go. He is an elected member of the Australian House of Representatives. The people of Warringah elected him at the last election. But Tony Abbott, like all my colleagues, needs to be focused on delivering better government for Australians and continuing the good work that Malcolm Turnbull has underway. Last question.
Just on clean coal, so there was some data that came out at the start of the week showing that these Heli plants deliver a substantial cost saving to the $3 billion the government's spending on the renewable energy target. Will clean coal play a factor in the government's discussions on the renewable energy target, and when will that happen?
Well, as you know, these clean coal power plants are being built in very large numbers across the region. Japan has plans to build 45 new Heli plants, and China and India, among many other countries, are building them. Now, Australia doesn't have any of these ultra supercritical power plants, even though they can reduce the emissions by up to 40% on current power plants. What we have said in our approach to energy policy is we'll be technology neutral. And recently I wrote to the head of the Australian Energy Market Operator and asked for advice about the amount of dispatchable or baseload capacity that we will need in the market over the coming years, particularly as some of the coal-fired power stations like Liddell close as announced by 2022. Now, one of the ways forward, once that advice is in, is to have a reverse auction, and that reverse auction would be looking at providing dispatchable power, which could be coal, could be gas, could be a form of renewable with the required storage. But the key going forward out of such a process would be to have sufficient dispatchable power, of which coal is one important source. Thank you very much.
When do you expect Cabinet to debate that?
Okay, so that was live from Melbourne, the Environment and Energy Minister Josh Frydenberg speaking there.